But I do have a problem with not consistently hitting.
Yeah.
Like my notes are this week for this movie are just not useful at all.
Yeah.
And partially it's because this movie is 2 hours long, and we were going to talk at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I get home around 4:30, and then I have to like do various things around my apartment,
Yeah.
like walk my dogers.
Uh-huh.
So then I'm cutting it pretty close.
Yeah. Down to the wire.
It was. I think I finished with 15 minutes to spare. So yeah, I was on top of things more or less.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time to like think about any potential points to.
Right. Well, usually
explain.
I try to like write notes about like things in the music I notice or things in the like cinematography that I notice. I mean, basically, like I don't think I'm that good at like film critique.
Yeah.
So like if I notice something, it means maybe it was like interesting, or maybe I'm just so dumb that I don't get what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it takes practice too.
Mm-hmm.
To like,
and like, you kind of have to learn things, and
yeah.
But thinking critically is maybe not one of my strong points. But
do you watch any like film essay YouTubers?
A little
anything?
bit, yeah. Not a ton.
Okay.
I watched like what's her name? She had this really great series on the Hobbit movies and why they were no good.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Lindsay Ellis or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is Lindsay Ellis. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lindsay Ellis.
Yeah.
She's very good at speaking critically on media stuff. Maybe you should be listening to what she has to say instead of us.
Yeah, well, or both. I mean,
both.
They're two different perspectives.
That's true.
Like we're just not putting in like tons and tons of research. We're just watching movies. And
she definitely puts in lots of research,
spewing garbage about them.
Yeah, it's a lot of hot takes.
Yeah, my new favorite is this channel, Movies with Mikey. It's part of the Film Joy. Like the YouTube channel is Film Joy, but the series is Movies with Mikey. And he's like one of those fun, like has fun in the edit and makes jokes and stuff, but then also makes 25 mini documentaries about a film or a subject or something. And they're all really good. I really like him. Like he's also one of those voices that isn't just making noise. Like he has actual points that are interesting, and I don't always agree with him.
Right.
But it's well stated and thought out.
A state of point of view.
Yeah. And he's the guy who he actually wrote the first 2 Borderlands video games.
There were stories in those games?
Yeah. I mean, there's stories in all games. All right.
I thought that was just like a comparing guns simulator. I don't know. I played the first one for like 20 minutes, and then I got bored.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what's happening, and I didn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's stories.
I know. I'm sure there's a story. There's a little robot, a helpful little robot.
But all right. Well, this is how about. I'm Jared.
I'm Kevin. What are we talking about today, Jared?
We're talking about the movie Dumplin, a Netflix movie. I'm actually not sure if Netflix just bought it or picked it up. I forgot to look that up.
Yeah,
do you know?
I don't know either. Okay. I was also going to look that up, and then didn't. Jennifer Aniston is an executive producer and also stars in the film. Which makes me think that it was like a
Jennifer Aniston Netflix type you give us stuff deal.
Right, like Netflix was like, "Hey, Jennifer Aniston, we want you to make a movie."
Yeah. She's like, "I read this great book and I know this great director."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like sort of like that. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe she just got an EP credit for some other irrelevant detail.
No, I think she actually did stuff. But speaking of directors, it's directed by Anne Fletcher, screenplay by Kirsten or Kristen.
Not Kirsten.
Or Kirsten, Kristin. We could have done some research. Han, anyways. The original book was by Julie Murphy, and it stars Danielle McDonald as Willadine, Jennifer Aniston as Rosie, Odeya Rush as Ellen, Maddie Bialio as Millie, Bex Taylor Kloss as Hannah, Luke Benwald as Bo, Harold Perrineau as Lee. I know for sure I just butchered his name. I've never known how to pronounce his name.
Can't believe you're going through so much of the cast.
And Hillary Begley as Lucy. Well, I thought I might as well look these people up. Because also, I did not know a lot of these people. Except for, Jennifer Aniston, of course.
Yeah. Didn't you know the the guy from Lost too?
Well, yeah. So that the guy from Lost, and I also knew the best friend Odea Rush. She was in. Did you ever watch the Goosebumps movie?
No, I did not.
Okay, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's better than you think it would be.
Right.
Like, I mean, it is like a teen sort
A
of
teen like
adventure romance
I
movie
think I saw the
type deal.
trailer and it looked like a TV of the week, TV like movie of the week type
Yeah.
deal.
It kind of has that vibe, but it's actually better
A little bit
done.
a step up than that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And it also has Jack Black's in it. Jack Black's great.
Yes. Yeah, he sure is something.
Yeah.
He's okay in certain
Yeah.
roles.
It has Holly from The Office.
Oh, okay.
I forget the actor's name.
Yeah, the actress's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, yeah.
She was in a movie. Was she in like? I feel like she was in like Zero Dark 30 or something. Or
No, I think
other...
she was in The Post.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, she was in like some war movie. And it was like it was a big downer movie, and like the first scene was kind of downer. I only watched like the first like 10 minutes.
Huh.
This was like right after her like character had been introduced on The Office.
Yeah.
And so like I saw that I was watching the movie, and then like I saw her in it, and I was like, "What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing here, Holly?"
I thought you were a comedy actor.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Maybe it was one of those that like I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
wait, she was in that Tom Hanks spy movie. You know, where he like goes to East Berlin?
no.
No.
No, I don't know.
She was
don't
in
know what
that
you're
movie
talking
though. She was the wife of Tom Hanks. She joins that pack of illustrious actresses who've got to play the wife of Tom Hanks. Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But back to
Okay.
Dumplin.
Anyways, I'm gonna think of it.
Yes,
not gonna
back
say
to Dumplin.
anything.
Dumplin without
Well, we should probably say that this was another Academy pick.
yes.
Our friend Mel selected this, and
This is a Mel selection, TM.
yeah. We talked about it in the discussion, but I do want to mention it here that well, Craig really brought it up with that it's always interesting to see films that just are out of our comfort range and or even sort of stuff we would look at normally.
Yeah, it's always nice to watch a different genre of film, like one that you wouldn't be necessarily drawn to.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those.
Yeah, this is a Netflix movie that I would never have in a million years watched.
Yeah. Not that I didn't think it looked bad. It just looked like, very much not my speed. And it kind of isn't.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, why would I watch this when I could watch something else? It's like an unknown...
The perils of Netflix.
Right, it's like an unknown entity, right? And so like I know I will get utility and value out of something, even if it's like rewatching a TV show I've rewatched 1,000 times. Like I know what I'm going to get, or if I'm going to watch like, an action movie or a horror movie or whatever, like I know what I'm going to get out of it and how it's going to make me feel. And so it's always just like safer to go with something like that. But
yeah.
That being said, it's always nice to watch something that you wouldn't necessarily watch.
Yeah. I mean, this is like that. This is what it takes sometimes for that to happen.
Yeah,
somebody to recommend it to you, or
right,
like plop you down and tell you to watch this thing.
Right, which is why I think it's good that we have like a rotation going.
Yeah,
on the thing. So everyone gets a chance to make a selection.
Yeah, and then we get to select super sad, depressing horror stories of movies.
No,
so we get to counterbalance it all.
That's not true. You chose a happy movie, and I chose a happy movie.
Yeah, but you hated my happy movie.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it that much.
No, you hated it. That's how it's
go back and listen to that episode.
I think you'll see that it's the shortest one that we've had, and that tells a lot.
First one was pretty short.
Okay, second shortest one we had of like a real discussion.
This one might top it.
Yeah, maybe
or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you have a synopsis, or do I have to?
Yeah, you have to look that up. I meant to look that up, but
right.
Okay.
Didn't. Yeah. So basically, the synopsis via Google is on IMDb. It's Willowdean Dumplin.
Yeah.
In quotes. The plus-size teenage daughter of a former beauty queen signs up for her mom's Miss Teen Blue Bonnet pageant as a protest that escalates when other contestants follow her footsteps. revolutionizing the pageant and their small Texas town.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. So it's about that. And right off the bat, I don't really have an interest in pageants.
yep, me
Don't
neither.
really care about Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not a huge fan of Jennifer Aniston. Did you
Yeah.
watch Friends?
I did not watch Friends.
Yeah,
I've seen
neither did I.
probably like a handful of episodes,
I don't
and
even think I've seen one full one.
yeah, I've seen probably a handful. I don't remember what happened in
Yeah.
any of them that I've seen. But it just didn't connect with me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like maybe it was because I wasn't shown like the pilot episode. Like I feel like
Maybe.
for TV shows, like pilot episodes, like help introduce characters pretty well.
Yeah.
So if you're just dropped into like a random quote unquote funny episode that someone is like, "Hey, this episode is funny," it's funny because you recognize the characters and their traits and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the humor is like inside jokes,
Yeah.
and so if you're not in tune with what those mean.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, don't love Jennifer Aniston. Haven't really seen much
Yeah.
that I enjoy with her in it.
Yep.
And yeah. So initial thoughts, Jared?
Well, it was first off better than I thought it was gonna be. Like I was like kind of tentatively thinking this was gonna be a garbage movie, and it's really not. Like it's well done. It just like again, it's a simple matter of it didn't connect with me on any like substantial areas, but
yeah,
I thought it was well done. I thought Jennifer Aniston is like actually pretty good. Felt like Texas accents were kind of all over the place, but I didn't really care about that. And then I also saw how it could be a very inspiring and uplifting story for some people if that is what they're looking for.
Yeah. I sort of agree. I mean, like we said, this movie is not. I feel like we would not fit in the target demographic of this movie.
No,
in any way, and that's not a problem to like overall enjoying the movie. It's like so like I can. It's at least an uplifting film.
Yeah.
And so there's that. Like it doesn't make me feel down, sad in any way.
Yeah.
I think that like as for like how it's made, like I had problems with like the pacing and like I felt like story arcs ended and then the movie continued, and so I'm not sure I would give it like a huge props for being well made. I mean, but it's not like poorly made at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like.
I mean,
it's a very Netflix movie where I feel like a lot of Netflix films have this problem, where like it's just like the editing isn't quite right.
Yeah.
And like things just don't quite land.
Yeah. That it's not. I was thinking about this. I don't remember why, but oh yeah, I was watching the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins movie, and I was thinking he is not very creative in his editing. He edits in exactly one style and doesn't like create scenes or scenarios or anything like to edit interestingly or to like shoot particularly interesting. And this movie Dumplin was also like that there weren't like any big sort of set pieces that kind of set up something and did something specifically, or like any editing that was like kind of clever or trying to be I don't know, artistic, I guess maybe. I don't know what the word for that is, but like a little bit more dramatic other than just making, we're just gonna make a movie, which is like what it did, but then it kind of suffers from that there's nothing to spice that up, that again there's not like it gets a little bit boring at times, although it's not slow paced per se.
I don't know if I would say it was boring. I think I would say it was pretty predictable. Like when every time a scene started, I kind of knew where that scene and how that scene was going to play out.
Right. But there is something to be said for even making a movie like that.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's so hard to make a movie.
It was very solid in that sense, where it's like it was like kind of like by the numbers.
Yeah. But it is that Netflix thing of like there's something sort of missing to make it great,
right?
And then maybe it could have been great,
and it's like kind of why it's like picked up on Netflix and it doesn't have like a wider release, and maybe this movie had other reasons why it wasn't done like that, but definitely like I feel like Netflix shows even have problems with like just like kind of basic editing stuff
Yeah.
where it's like this is just kind of extraneous and unnecessary.
Yeah.
But we're being treated to it. Like this movie is like an hour and 50 minutes long, I think, is the runtime.
Yeah.
And I think it's about 25 minutes too long.
Yeah.
I think this movie would have worked better as like a 90-minute film because there's just lots of stuff that happens. Then I'm like, I don't really feel like this is entirely necessary. Like for example, I think the romance with the fry cook friend,
Yeah, Bo.
I think that's like kind of unnecessary because I don't feel like the movie is setting it up as like she needs like male validation. You know,
I mean, it's purposely not doing that,
right?
But it doesn't like fully subvert it in any way.
Right.
Exactly.
So like
it like kind of half does
that
and
character
half doesn't.
being there and like him saying like it doesn't matter what I think to me doesn't like. It's like if it doesn't matter what you think, why are you in this film?
Mm-hmm.
What is your purpose here if it's not to like give validation to her?
Yeah.
Right?
That I kind of wanted a big hokey romantic comedy speech from Willowdene at the end, like saying, "Yeah, I get what you blah 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 blah, and I've changed, and like this is what happened and stuff." And it's again not that movie, but it was like kind of leaning towards that and then pulled back, and it just kind of felt awkward a little bit.
Yeah.
But then also on the flip side of that, it's nice to, watch movies that aren't, romance movies where the romance is that's how you win the day, you get the guy or the girl.
Right. Yeah. Like the romance is like a subplot.
Yeah.
It's not the main through line. It's not really all that important. It's like it gives it sort of like gives indication of how Willowdene is feeling throughout the film.
Yeah.
Like her interactions with Bo are very telling to how she feels.
Yeah. That is kind of a flip of that. Normally it would be the best friend that gets the B plot. That it's like, you spat with your best friend and it takes up like 15 minutes total of the film.
Right.
As opposed to this, the romance was the 15 minutes of the film.
Right. But the friend kind of her best friend.
Yeah.
I think one of our friends mentioned it. She just like kind of disappears. They get into the classic like disagreement.
Yeah.
They have one sort of argument, and then she just disappears for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or longer.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was 45 minutes.
It was,
but it was a long time because there were so many things going on at that same time.
Right.
Like they have a fight, and it like didn't seem like that big of a fight, really. Like, I didn't understand why it was that sort of like, we're cutting ties and we're never talking again type deal.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, that was a little bit underbaked. And then, it did kind of feel like she was just cut out of the movie as opposed to resolving that storyline, the next day as cooler heads prevail.
Right. Or, like, just, like, you've been friends with this person for, like, a better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be, like, multiple weeks of not talking.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that again, I think somebody, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but in the discussion we talked about that it would have been nice if there were like title cards or like a ticker or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
indicate how long.
No indication of passage of time.
Because they do set up is it 6 weeks, I think?
Yeah.
Till the pageant?
Yep.
But then there's no like
they do this
markers.
They do this very long montage at the end. And you don't have really any idea. It could just be like one day, but like all of the characters go from being like completely inept at everything to like competent at their like beauty pageant skills.
Right.
And it's like, okay, fine, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's like it would have them like change out like street clothes outfits.
Yeah.
Like 15 times.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or
but,
like even
like some sort of indication to the audience that would have been helpful there.
That this was not just like 45 minutes the day of. This was like a real thing that they worked on.
Right.
Not that like it necessarily matters. It's not really the point.
Yeah.
But like
But then they also set up that there's a time frame to begin with, and it's
there's like
why don't you
a ticking
stick
clock?
Yeah. Like that would have been a funny joke, like like that flies in out of this space or something. It's like dun dun 6 weeks, then next time dun dun 5 weeks to go. I don't know.
Might have felt out of place, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, and they do have title cards at the beginning where they're like, didn't they? Where it was like, this year it was like 1987 or something, or
or
setting
like
up 1996 or
with
whenever
her aunt.
With the aunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one like that? I don't
remember exactly.
Me neither. I was definitely paying attention,
Yeah.
100% to this film while watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I paid
Not
attention. I
checking
just
my
don't
watch
remember.
to see if
No,
I
I
had enough
watched.
time to finish it before the
Oh
discussion started.
God. Can I
Uh,
count time right? How long are these credits gonna be?
oh Lord. Okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, this movie had lots of like moments where I was just like sighing, like,
yeah.
now this is happening,
Uh-huh.
and then like just because it is like so like cliche and obvious,
Yeah.
like I just don't like. So Willadine decides to sign up for the pageant based on finding an application that her aunt never turned in for
Mhm.
the beauty pageant.
Yeah.
Her aunt, who was also larger,
Yeah.
and had recently passed away.
Yeah.
We don't know why, right?
Yeah, that
Like
wasn't clear.
they don't
I think it,
specify,
I mean it
but
was unexpected though, I think.
right, yeah, yeah. But
And
then
beloved by everybody in
beloved
this
by everyone in
town.
this town because she was a very bright person,
Yeah.
very lovable and
Yep.
loving, um, which is nice.
Yeah.
But so she finds the application and then she's like, "I'm gonna join the beauty pageant because my aunt never could."
Yeah.
But then she's like, "I'm not gonna try though,"
Yeah.
and that felt very weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have it both ways, right? You can't be like, I'm joining the beauty pageant in protest that like I don't conform with beauty pageant norms.
Yeah.
And also you can't be like, I'm gonna do what my aunt never could
Yeah.
and prove that like you can be beautiful. Beauty comes in all shapes and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I mean,
it
like
felt weird
it.
to me.
Yeah. So, but then, so first to that point is that I like that it pulled a Rocky in that winning the fight slash the beauty pageant isn't what then validates everybody.
Sure,
It
sure,
was the journey along the whole thing.
sure.
But then, yeah, it was also complicated by she was also joining the pageant to like get recognition from her mother, who
Right.
hasn't like cared about her. But then also like the other wrinkle to that is her mother wasn't
Mother wasn't like cold
yeah,
or
or
distant
abusive
or
or
abusive,
like
yeah.
it wasn't like
Because it's Jennifer Aniston, right? Like you
right,
can't
yeah.
make her like a total
Well,
asshole.
I mean, you could. That would
she
make an
wouldn't agree to
interesting
that.
movie. But that wasn't what this movie was trying to be.
Right.
Her mother's just like clueless, sort of like that. Her
Yeah,
aunt
yeah.
Lucy was the one who instilled her with the whole body positivity stuff, and
Yep.
just don't care. Everybody's stupid for making fun of
Well, just
other
like
people,
it's
and
not. It's just like just love everyone and be very open and
Yeah.
loving of yourself and
yeah. And her
that's-
mother isn't like opposed to that,
no.
but she's not.
she's just more focused on other things. It seems.
And also, like, it's implied, and also, I mean, makes sense that also, she wasn't very comfortable in her own skin either, even while being, one of the most beautiful people in the world in Jennifer Aniston, and also a pageant winner.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, a part of why she's so attached to the pageant is maybe because she's also very insecure. But again, that wasn't really like.
I don't know. That wasn't really expanded upon. Her character was sort of
I mean, she's kind
one-dimensional.
of just there.
She's just sort of there, yeah. I
Just
mean,
like,
there's a lot of elements in this movie that I think just needed to be tweaked a little bit.
yeah,
And
it
then-
could have been more impactful if it was like.
Yeah.
But then also is like it walks that fine line between subversion and just doing the same type of movie.
Right, but I don't like
Like the whole thing with the
so I think
girl who wins the pageant
Mhm.
is like, it's all in the background and nobody really cares, and it's the
Mhm.
pretty blonde girl who
right.
would always win the pageant, but
Right.
she's like, that girl's not snotty to everybody. She's not
Right.
like really stuck up. She's
Yeah.
actually like all the
She's like a nice normal
Yeah.
girl.
yeah, they're all like kind of pretty kind to each other.
Right.
And so it's like what I didn't really get what that meant, other than not trying to sort of
I mean, it's
buy into the stereotypes of like there's that queen bitch or whatever.
right. I mean, I
Um,
think it was sort of that it wasn't really ultimately it wasn't about winning the pageant, right?
Yeah,
And so the winner was just kind
Yeah.
of
which again was great.
yeah, it was fine, I think. It was the right choice for the movie.
Yeah, but then it
Um,
kind of asked the question, why a pageant at all?
Yeah, and like why why give Millie second place, right?
Yeah.
Her other.
Well, I think. Well, yeah. So that's what I liked about that is that, Willadine meets another fat girl, and she's like, kind of puts her down too, which I feel like that also could have been a journey, that she's also kind of being prejudiced to this girl, but she's more doing that because she's kind of the bubbly, sort of clueless, laughs at jokes about her girl, and Willadine just thinks that's, sad that she lives her life that way. But
Which is
then
weird,
it turns
that's
out,
sort of like how her aunt lived her life, like just not really caring.
and didn't recognize
Like
that she's also being mean. But anyways,
right.
turns out Millie's a big fan of pageants, and then enters the pageant, and then like actually does all this stuff, and is like really engaged in all the steps of what they need to do in the pageant. Which I think I like that she then is runner up, because I think she was the person who put in the most work and like actually did all the sort of right pageant steps, and it makes sense that she would win if this is a fair pageant. And it's like that was kind of the moral of the story, is that the pageant was fair. Like if you did actually give a shit, which Willadine didn't, then you will, be recognized at least.
Right. Well, she did care at the end.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, and then she like purposely broke the rules. Willadine did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like so much going on.
There's
I think it actually would have worked as a miniseries better.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. There would have been more room for these elements to breathe.
Yeah. And to get more backstory with everybody.
Right.
Because like we have so many characters who are just thrown at us, and they're all deeply
like
complicated and stuff. Yeah.
I actually don't know why she was in the movie.
Yeah, it was unclear.
She was like kind of comic relief.
Yeah.
But it was like distracting, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's like why would she be there?
Yeah, that was unclear. But it was also like that's another movie that this could have been about.
You could have. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like this movie was very I'm blanking on words right now. But it's just like it had too much stuff going on, and just needed an editor to be like, we don't need this element.
I think it showed that it was a book quite well. Yeah. That so I could imagine the book including all this stuff.
Right. I don't think any of the elements that I'm complaining about are necessarily bad or even poorly done.
Yeah.
They just don't add to Willadine's arc enough,
and nor are they like interconnected in any way. The whole thing about Millie is that she just signs up for the pageant like out of nowhere. It's not connected to Willadine's journey in any way,
right?
Really?
But there's like a one-liner where it's like, "Oh, you're signing up, so I'm going to too." But we don't.
Yeah, how did she find out? That was unclear.
Because like she finds she makes the decision in like her dead aunt's bedroom.
Yeah,
and she's like, I'm going to sign up for the pageant because my aunt never could. And then so then it immediately cuts to like her and her friend going to sign up. And then Millie is just there and she's like, I'm signing up because you're signing up too. And it's like, but how do you know? We don't know that you know.
Yeah.
Like you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I mean,
like that would have made more sense if she was like at her locker one day.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I found this thing. And
right, and then
I'm gonna sign up for the pageant.
Then my complaint would have been, why would she bring that application to school? That doesn't make any sense.
But I think that's a better complaint than just like, I mean, it makes a little bit more logical sense.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
And then so then the pageant stuff and her mom's stuff like kind of ties together, but not exactly thematically.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole like learning how to embrace yourself as a woman with the drag. Queens and stuff at that bar that her aunt used to go to, which is also another like, I mean, it's always not that it's bad, but it's always funny that like somebody finds a note/letter or something.
She finds just like a flyer
relative
to the bar, and like her aunt's scrapbook.
Yeah, and they're like, we're gonna go to this.
And
how do you know what?
And then it's a bar that like IDs people, but then they just let her in anyways.
Because some random guy was also going
like
in the
manager,
door.
I guess,
and he's like, Lucy? What Lucy?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, my Aunt Lucy. And he's like, okay, come on in. You're definitely not going to be scarred for life.
Or like, not that, but like, it's definitely not going to be like a police officer who sees you there, or
Yeah.
no one's gonna.
I
Call
mean,
the
this was a
cops on
pretty
you.
harmless club anyway, so it's not like people are doing like hard drugs in there or
Right?
anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. It's
yeah,
again like I think like there needed to be an editor who is not afraid to cut off
yeah.
lots of stuff.
But then, like, I feel like that runs into the problem of if people read the book and are watching the movie for the book, they're gonna be like, "Where'd this character go? I love that character. They were my
Yeah,
favorite."
that's true. Yeah. Then at that point, you should just make like a 6-episode miniseries. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
think
think
it would have
that
been
would have
pretty cool.
been.
Because, like, so then, yeah, the other part of this is I did genuinely like all these actors for the most
Yeah,
part.
no, I think all the performances were interesting at the very least. I don't think anyone was like annoying
Yeah.
or
I mean,
like
again, accents were like,
accents were kind of all over the place.
yeah, just general, like, southern drawly type
Yeah.
stuff.
Our friend Lena, who is the only person from Texas
Yeah.
I know,
Yep.
she liked Jennifer Aniston's accent
Yeah.
and thought it was good.
I mean, that
thought it
makes
was,
sense. I mean, she's like a good actor.
yeah, I thought it was
Professional
like
actor.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really know what a Texas accent is supposed to sound like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are lots of different Texas accents.
Sure. Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
There's just the accents were kind of all over the place, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't care about Texas. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that was one of those things that it felt like, yeah, I get to see Texas in a movie. That I'm just like, yeah, I don't.
I don't know. Texas is in lots of
Okay.
movies, right?
Yeah.
Remember the
Pretty
Alamo?
much.
That was
Yeah.
in Texas. I'm sure there's been like football movies set in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm not
Friday Night Lights,
sure.
the TV show.
It's a TV show.
And
Yeah.
also, it was a movie first.
Yeah.
Oh, well, a book first.
So I wrote 5 different notes.
Yeah.
And the first one I wrote is about the burger joint that
Yeah.
Willardine works at.
What was the name of that?
Har-
Like Hanner, please.
Harpies.
Harpies.
Yes, it was Harpies,
Mm-hmm.
and it says the griddle is not very hot because they flip the burgers.
Yeah, and it's not.
it's like,
it doesn't sizzle or anything.
It doesn't. Well,
Yeah.
it like sizzles, but like there's no like char on the burger at all. It's
but
like,
also,
just,
yeah.
like,
So
gray.
it was 2 like good-looking burgers, and then
Right.
2 patties that just looked like horrible garbage.
Yeah.
Were the 2 that he flipped, and it's like that thing in a movie, like if
Uh-huh.
somebody's making an egg and there's like one perfect egg,
Yep.
and one egg that's just been like flipped 20 times for 50 takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
Yeah. It's like that doesn't look
Yeah.
very good.
And then also, like, there were those kids at the restaurant too, and like, what was their deal?
Which kids?
The
There's lots of
2 other
at the
kids who worked
restaurants.
at the restaurant.
Oh yeah. Wait, no.
Her
There's
2
one
friends.
other kid.
Yeah, there's one kid and then the chef kid. The other
Bo
server guy.
and the black server kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
yeah.
are 2 kids.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I was like counting out Bo because
No,
he's
works there
he's
too.
like a main character, I guess, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's weird. Should have just been cut from the movie.
Also, he went to the blonde girl who won school, I guess, maybe?
yeah, they went to
Like,
a
again,
prep
that was
school or something.
unclear.
They went to like a prep school. There's a one line
Yeah.
about it. Now that I guess I wasn't paying attention at the beginning when they said like based on a book by so and so, or maybe that was at the end. Because going into the movie, I was not aware that this was a book. I don't even know if I was
Okay,
aware,
yeah.
like in our discussion with our friends.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe just now I'm learning that it was a book.
Oh, okay.
And now a lot of these decisions make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like it's like, why would anyone keep Bo in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because he was in the book.
Yeah.
Like, why have this fight with Elle, like, play out like this?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. And also that explains why it's so long.
Yes, it does explain why it's so long. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. That explains it. That does not excuse it. I still think
Yeah.
it would be a better film if,
Yeah. It falls into that classic film trap of
like,
you're adapting a book and
Right,
you're too
yeah.
precious about stuff sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, maybe if I was a big fan of the book, I would complain if they
Yeah.
chopped out elements. But
If this was a Hunger Games situation. You read Hunger Games, right?
I did read Hunger Games.
Oh.
And I watched most of the movies. I don't think I saw
The final one?
final one. Yeah, I don't even think I saw either of the final ones. I think I stopped at the second one because I was like, it's just gonna be the third book, and I read the third book.
Yeah,
and it was my least favorite of the books. So
yeah, they're not bad.
I'm sure it's fine.
Maybe you'll pick that as the
sure.
next movie.
Which one though? You can't make me watch both of them.
God damn it! I'll have to do successive weeks then.
Successive weeks.
Yeah,
it'll just be me complaining.
This is
like,
terrible.
For like an hour.
What's her
For 2
face?
weeks. Yeah.
Whoa. What do you think about? Are you a big Dolly Parton fan? I assume no.
I think Dolly Parton is a great musician.
Yeah.
I think a lot of her music is, she's fucking iconic.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I
have
is
never.
Is it possible to have complaints about Dolly Parton?
No, I mean I'm just wondering if you're a big fan of Dolly Parton.
No.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I don't search out her music.
Yeah, I was thinking
on my own,
and this is the second time I brought this show up, and I don't think it's that great of a show. But the Orville recently had a Dolly Parton moment, but it was like played for comedic purposes.
Sure.
So it's like it becomes there's like this planet of women who are ostracized from a planet of all men, and it's like all complicated. And it's actually a pretty interesting like story about intolerance and stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this representative from this planet of women hears a Dolly Parton song, and it's 9 to 5, and she's like, "This is the song of the revolution," and it's like Seth MacFarlane next to her going, "Oh boy, what have I done?" Because he like introduced this song to her, and then that song plays over like a big battle scene happening with like laser weapons and stuff.
Right.
It was just like very silly. And then like Guardians of the Galaxy's whole soundtrack and stuff. Like I heard a couple of those songs in different places. I think Blue Suede in a movie, and I can't remember where, but it was just like it kind of cheapened the experience for me in a weird way. Like it felt like this. So Dumplin is trying to use Dolly Parton very genuinely,
right?
Like as a female empowerment, independence, icon that she is. And like the whole drag show is about Dolly Parton. And it felt like just personally for me kind of weird that other media has used her in such different ways. I don't know. Yeah. It was just strange to like hear her be like, I kind of associate this with something else.
Sure.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't think it was like bad in this movie. And also she wrote some new songs for this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone else who wrote other songs.
No, I mean she definitely wrote songs for this movie.
Okay. I thought there was another person credited with writing some of the original.
Maybe. I mean, there was somebody who did score for it.
Sure. Maybe that was it. I don't know. There's other opening credits.
Yeah.
I was, getting myself situated.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I don't think I read all of them.
Yeah. Usually I ignore them.
Yeah.
Got anything else to talk about here, Jared?
So when Jennifer Aniston's talking to the other pageant queen that she goes to like support another pageant ?
No,
I just don't get that whole pageant life.
Yeah, it's like, it's a
very Texas thing, I think.
I think it's
very southern thing.
Maybe a very southern thing. I think it's like it's like inviting a like a guest lecturer sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's a guest
like
beauty queen.
Yeah, I guess beauty queen host, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's one of those like antebellum South things. Sure, I'm just like, I am not on board for this because I know what you guys did and what you stood for.
Right.
But anyways, so when they're talking to that other pageant lady, she first mistakes Willow's friend, what's her name? Ellen, for the daughter of Jennifer Aniston because she is the more beautiful one.
She's the skinny one, yeah.
Yeah, and then her response to Jennifer Aniston saying, "No, this is my daughter," is "Wow, okay." And I thought that was just a great line reading.
Yeah,
perfectly like funny,
right,
and underplayed.
Yeah, and then Jennifer Aniston like is against the Twitter machine.
Yeah,
she's not in favor of the social media.
Yeah, so then that's the other angle too, is that she's a classical pageant person. What would that be called? Like a pageant conservative.
She's like a
traditionalist. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
in
we're not
pageants.
gonna.
Yeah, and it's like that's another wrinkle that it's like her whole.
It was like another thing.
Yeah.
Just in
That
the
I feel
movie.
like if you were into pageants, you would have been like, oh yeah, or like, oh no, this is
like,
dumb.
that's so antiquated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
And
know.
like also that could have played into when Willowdene doesn't care about doing the pageant stuff. Like that would have been another possible conflict with her mother, and her mother's like, yeah, this has been done since 1890, and that was like such a long time ago.
Right.
And we don't do this stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't really, and like that's fine. But it,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, I do really like Harold Perrineau, the guy from Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was great. I mean, he's just a great actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have that much to say about anything performance related from any of the actors.
Yeah. And then my last thing is that when they do the final pageant, it does that thing, and I mentioned it in that discussion, that I think is the worst sin Glee ever committed.
Oh yeah.
Which is making crowd reaction shots so silly and goofy and terrible.
I mean, you're supposed, yeah.
Yeah, just like so hokey. Like, you know, the song's going on in the background, and we have to cut to every single major character, and they have to have some sort of like facial tick, like, ooh, girl. Yeah. Whoa, I didn't know this was coming.
Right.
Huh. How about that?
Well, otherwise it's boring, right?
I suppose. But I feel like all I kept thinking is there's some way to do this creatively that isn't just single shots of people either behind the curtain or in the crowd, like highlighted, like, it's almost that, like, hokey, one single line of seats who you care about is in light, and then all the extras are just in dark and you don't care about them. Like, it wasn't fully that. But it was like on the way to that.
I mean, like alternatively, you cut to random people in the audience, or you just don't have those at all, and you're just focusing entirely on the performance.
Yeah, and I guess I would rather focus on the performance, and then like you could have like a one take or something that takes you behind the curtain to see some people.
Right.
But it just like feels like cut to death of like we gotta see everybody for each performance for each, of our main characters performing.
Except for the alternative girl. We don't even know what her talent was.
No, her talent was karate.
Yeah.
It was like a karate performance. And I really wish we had seen
We
that.
didn't get to see it.
That would have been so cool.
I'm sure it wasn't written in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure like Willowdene's character is just not paying attention.
Yeah, probably just running around backstage still.
Yeah.
Fixing stuff. Yeah.
Or getting disqualified and whatever.
But yeah, I mean, Glee truly ruined that for me.
I'm sure.
Like every shot of Mr. Schuester behind the stage being like, yes, those are my kids. They're so run down, but also good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah. I suppose. Or like in Pitch Perfect, everybody's always, having a rousing applause of some dumb a cappella group. Like, first off, there's not going to be that many people there. Second off, we're clapping for this? What? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well.
Yeah, I got nothing left.
Yep.
We actually talked a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Mostly because I had lots of complaints about how bloated this movie felt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't. It was a fine movie. I don't know if I didn't hate it in any way.
Yeah. I like that it lives on Netflix. I like that if people are interested in this, they can find it. Like, I was thinking about, I don't remember what I was reading, but I mean, like, the whole Steven Spielberg thing of, like, and that also got blown out of, I was reading an interesting article, actually, about that Steven Spielberg actually didn't say that much about streaming platforms.
Yeah, he did.
Like, one offhanded comment.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was thinking about, like, what is the purpose of a streaming outlet? And I think it is to pick up movies like this. Like, I was also reading something about Cannes, and, like, the Cannes Film Festival, only so many movies, and at any festival are picked up.
Yep.
And, like, it'd be cool if, Netflix sweeps in and gives those people some money so they can, like, pay the people who worked on the film, and then also, like, the film gets to live someplace.
Yep.
People get to see it. Just like, the Clove Hitch Killer, I'm glad, like, that saw the light of the day. Like, would be a classic movie that nobody would ever see, and
like the only people who would go see this movie in a theater are the people that read the book.
Yeah, or are huge Jennifer Aniston fans, which is I mean, that's a lot of people.
Are there people that are huge Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Uh,
What do you?
if you say
what?
so, I'll take your word
Yeah,
for it. I guess
of
Friends is very
course.
popular.
You guess Friends
guess
is very
Friends is very
popular? I
popular.
was also just reading an article that said if Netflix removes Friends, The Office, and there were a couple of other
Marvel
shows.
and something else. Like
Yeah, like
90%.
30%.
90% of young people are just
yeah.
outie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that too.
They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
pretty
know.
silly. Yeah.
You want to give this this bitch a score?
Yeah. I mean, let's maybe not call it that. It's been pretty sensitive so far. So this
just thought I'd throw it out there. For shits and giggles.
I just don't think we've earned the credit,
Yeah,
the goodwill of our non-existent audience.
Yeah.
For you to be throwing that out there. So
That's
I'd
fair.
like to apologize. And also boot Kevin from the rest of the podcast.
Oh no.
No, yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Hmm.
Because it just like
Hmm.
wasn't for me. But
Right.
also, it wasn't terrible. There were a
Yeah.
lot of fun moments. I laughed a few times. Can't remember when.
Yeah. I think I gave it a 5.
Okay.
I don't think. Again, it's not a bad movie. It's not a movie made for me in mind at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like everyone can take the message of learn to love yourself to heart, and that's always a good message. Like,
yeah.
You know, that's never a bad message.
And that's an important one to like, have more movies be about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So like
I think
again, that's why I like it living on Netflix is that
Right.
if somebody needs this type of thing, they can discover that.
They can search it out. I mean, I guess it's just like it doesn't. It's not like relevant. Like it's not like presented in a relevant way. It's presented through the lens of like a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
Which is very niche.
Yeah.
You know, like when it's like presented in like a social media type way,
Mhm.
it is always relevant, or it's more
It's relevant to more people.
It's relevant to
because
more
people
it's less
are
niche. So then, like you know, it makes things more poignant, maybe.
Yeah, but then I can see that it resonating more with people who are very into beauty pageants and like maybe are in most in need of somebody
exactly
entering that arena and saying, "Hey,
Again-
actually,
Again,
chillax."
this movie was not made for us
Yeah.
at all. People who have not read
It's
the book
probably
or
irresponsible
not
of
men.
us to have talked about it at all. So
we talked about it
you're
a lot,
welcome,
too.
world.
I
Yeah.
guess it's not the shortest episode.
Nope. Yep.
Okay.
We win.
Okay. Yeah. You want to send us out, Jared?
Well, I have to say what movie we're doing next.
Oh yeah, what movie are we doing next?
I don't know. Kevin asked me what movie we're doing next.
I just did.
No, you didn't.
I literally just said what movie we're doing next.
Shut up. Have you watched Once Upon a Time in the West? Sergio Leone movie?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. We're going to watch that.
Okay, sounds
That'd
good.
be great. Because you mentioned that you watched Westworld.
I did watch a bit of Westworld, yes.
And this is one of the things that inspired the filmmakers behind Westworld.
Woo lad.
Yeah.
I didn't love Westworld, though,
Yeah.
unfortunately. It was fine.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is a classic Western.
Cool.
Sergio Leone movie. It's very long, though, so prepare yourself.
All right, that's fine.
It's about 3 hours.
Yeah. I don't know exactly when I'll have time to record another episode because
Okay.
I am a very busy boy the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
We can talk about that off, Mike.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Send us off,
hang
Jared.
on. Yeah, you don't want to do this ending
No,
spiel?
you do
All
it.
right. You can follow us on the Instagram and the Twitter at howaboutpod. You can email us at howaboutpod@gmail.com. Please rate us 5 stars and then review us. Whatever you want in the review. And Apple Podcasts /iTunes is the best place for us to find that. Or on Stitcher or wherever your favorite podcast app is. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies. Tell that guy on the street that you pass. Shout it from literal mountaintops if we have any mountain climbers listening.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
you can follow us on Facebook too. It's How About the Podcast.
Wow.
Okay, so I ran into this thing. I was trying to create this goddamn Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the 3 dots and a question mark, and
Yep.
Facebook's like, no, you can't do that. And I'm
Yep.
like, why? So then I look at the rules,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, there
No
are
ellipses?
no rules for ellipses or
Huh.
periods
Yep.
or anything.
It just doesn't want you to do it.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
grammatically incorrect, except I think it actually is grammatically correct if I'm leaving a blank there.
Yeah.
That's a grammatically correct way to write in a blank.
Sure. I don't know. That's
Anyways,
Facebook
Facebook
and their
get at
fucking
me.
racket.
Yeah. Mark
Bunch of ass-
Zuckerberg call me, bro.
He is a total bitch.
You already know
Can I
my
say
phone
that
number. Yeah, because that one's true.
Oh.
All right. Well, we're outie 5,000 of this.
Yeah, bye.
All right, ta-ta for now.